Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Cop Council. How are you all? Hopefully, all of you are on a fantastic day from wherever you are around the world. And I know it's been a while since we've been streaming, and yes, it was meant to be a World Cup stream today. But as you can see by the thumbnail and the title, there is more breaking news, but behind the scenes at Liverpool Football Club at the present moment in time. And yes, as you can see, that of course Julian Ward is set to leave Liverpool at the end of the season. He has quit as sporting director, only been in the role for what, 6 months, probably a bit less than that. And of course he's been around the scenes. He's been around the likes of Michael Edwards for the last 4 or 5 years, I think it is. He was under his wing, and then of course there's been other situations where he's been around the club and so on. And it does come as a massive shock, I would say, more than anything. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comment section down below, because I think plenty of people will be having their own reaction, having their thoughts, their own opinions. So guys, let me know yours in the comment section down below, because for me, I'm 100% shocked of the news, and a little bit concerned really at the news that of course Julian Ward's is leaving Liverpool. And at the end of the day as well, it's the fact that, it's not just him. There's more coming out of this as well, that, potentially more people are leaving the club behind the scenes as well. So there is something going on behind the scenes. We saw this, at Chelsea, for example, where Todd Bowley come in, and things would change straight away within the structure of things. Things would move swiftly on. So what is happening behind the scenes, we do not know as of now, of course. But I will bring all of the all the latest news for you guys anyway, and hopefully all of you are having a fantastic day. Like I said, we were going to be talking about the World Cup today. How are we finding the World Cup? Are we all happy with it, and so on, in the football terms of things, of course? But yeah, it's a bit of a newsworthy day, isn't it? Realistically, but Talio Albin as well says Gary as well. If you're new around here as well, then please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button as well. Very much appreciated as well. John's in as well, saying big up Connor, mate. Hope you're well. Eugene Bastard as well. Hello, John. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day, my friend. uh Afternoon as well, says Brian, good seeing you, my friend. This an eye-opener. Something is going on, Connor, as well. Yeah, it does scream that something is massively happening behind closed doors as well, isn't it? But this is getting scary, but scarier by the day as well, says Liz. Absolutely. Jack is in as well, of course. Guys, go and subscribe over to Anfield Road TV, doing excellent World Cup coverage at the present moment in time as well. So again, guys, go over, subscribe to there as well. Any mods in here as well, please leave a link for Jack's channel in the comments, as well as a sell is imminent as well. Yeah, potentially. Talio John as well. Panav is in as well. Great to see you in here as well, Panav. And Jack saying Klopp has full on control now. Yeah, Jurgen Klopp does have full control at the moment, but of course we will speak about all of the news anyway. Let me quickly scroll up, and of course we are talking about Julian Ward. If no one's ever saw Julian Ward before, that is him right there. Of course, took over from Michael Edwards as sporting director, obviously 6 months ago. Of course, Michael Edwards, we all knew this time last year that Edwards was going to be leaving Liverpool. And of course, the Mr. Reliable himself, of course, Paul Joyce, mentioning the news, saying more changes looming at Liverpool. Sporting director Julian Ward is to leave at the end of this season. And of course, the news has come out over the last hour or two, that he's quit. He's left the role of sporting director. He will leave in I believe it's May. He will leave as sporting director. So again, not imminent, but of course, it's not good, the fact that you know we did have a sporting director in Michael Edwards. Julian Ward's been working with Michael Edwards for years. Comes into the door. Obviously, Julian Ward was a pivotal person in the deals, such as Luis Diaz, Darwin Núñez, and of course Mohamed Salah's contract extension. And plenty of you guys will know as well. I think he was part as well of Jurgen Klopp's contract talks as well. So again, he's been involved in big and key moments for Liverpool over the last couple of years. So again, times are changing for Liverpool at the present moment in time as well. But this was a bit more as well about the situation around Julian Ward as well. Obviously, Neil Jones coming out and saying as well, saying Liverpool made significant efforts to persuade Ward to stay, but that changes in organs. I can't spell it. Not spell. I can't speak at the minute, guys. Sorry. Organ structure at Anfield, as well as the looming spectre of a possible takeover of the club, have played a big role in his decision as well, which again is a huge decision to take as well. Goal understands that there is a belief within the club, the FSG's ownership model, which depends largely on generating revenue through player trading, is reaching the end of its shelf life after a parade of remarkable success as well. So again, that's another bit of it that you have to take into consideration, because when you look at the deals that Liverpool have been able to get over the past couple of seasons, you look at the likes of most recently Neco Williams going to Nottingham Forest for 17 million pounds. That was an amazing deal at the time. Taki Minamino for 15 million to Monaco, and you look at other deals and so on. Throughout the Michael Edwards, Julian Ward era, in particular, the likes of Dominic Solanke selling for 20 odd million pounds, Phil Coutinho, that deal 144 million pounds, which again is ridiculous amount of money. And again, it's that factor of where Liverpool over the last year, I would say a year and a bit, particularly unless we were to sell on a Mo Salah, a Virgil van Dijk, and Alisson Becker, there's not enough funds within the squad at the present moment in time to rebuild that kind of phase where we you look at it this past year, for example, we had to sacrifice, or the sacrifice was made of Sadio Mane in a structurally financial way. That was put one side to fund the likes of Darwin Núñez, Mohamed Salah's new deal, and so on. And that's the thing where Liverpool now would probably have to go on and sell a likes of Mo Salah or something to get those funds that you would need to get back into the team. And yes, it has worked for a period of time, but like I've mentioned on other videos, and you guys would have known as well, Liverpool are currently at a point in Liverpool's history where Liverpool are a top, an elite club in terms of we're playing amazingly. Well, not this season, but we have played amazingly over the last couple of seasons. We are probably the best we've ever been, in terms of financially at the club. Structurally as well. Apart from this, we've been pretty decent, haven't we, over the last couple of years, and so on. But now, with people going out to the door and so on, and that you would think a takeover is imminent, as well, and the fact as well, the fact that Billy Hogan was given more of the responsibilities behind the scenes, because other things were happening as well. So you'd think that things are ramping up pretty quickly now. Of course, I think it was the Boston Journal, FSG came out and said there's no rush, there's no panic for it. But again, I do think that at the present moment in time, we are seeing a rapid phase of things happening, and so on. So again, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But it's at the minute, it is huge at the minute. But big up Jack and Panav. Hope you're both well as well, says John. Do you think it's the same reason Edwards left? No, I don't think it is. I think Edwards left because, look, he'd been at the club for 10 years and I think just needed a rest. You look at, if it was just based on, the fact that he wasn't happy the way Liverpool was going, then he would have gone to Chelsea. Over the last 6 months, he would have happily gone to Chelsea, I think, because of course Todd Bowley has been wanting Michael Edwards at Chelsea for a very, very long time. But Michael Edwards has said no. He wants a break from football for a good while. It'd have to take something, big for him to come back into football at the moment. So again, you look at it on that side of things. Is it, was it something behind the scenes? I would say no. Personally, I just think it was just a break needed for Michael Edwards. Anyway, as well. But yeah, that's the link for Jack. Go and subscribe over to Jack's channel. Mike, be back to Rangers as well. Obviously, John with Rangers there as well. But I'm saying, all right, John as well. They got Brian as well. There's going to be nobody from the FSG era left apart from Klopp. The way it's going, yeah, that's the thing at the present moment in time. And to be fair, that does, bring up this point as well. I think Jack mentioned it earlier on as well, but as you can see below as well, Jurgen Klopp has taken a more hands-on approach over the last 12 months to recruitment as well. Of course, Jurgen did speak about, I'll always go back to what Jurgen was speaking just before the transfer window closed, last summer, in terms of, he'd want to take more risks. And with new ownership, could Klopp take that risk potentially? And that's the thing. We are entering, at the present moment in time, we are entering very, nervous waters because did we expect this news today? No, we absolutely didn't. Did I expect Julian Ward, after 6 months officially being in the role as sporting director, did we expect him to be leaving the role? No, absolutely not. I don't think we did. I don't think anyone did. I don't think anyone can say they did. And it's just the fact that, as it has been mentioned, I'll bring it back up in a brief moment. The fact that Liverpool tried everything to keep him there, but Julian Ward just didn't want to stay because, of course, things at the club are changing, and that's the thing at the moment where we saw it and we've seen it with the likes of Manchester United back in the day with Alex Ferguson. Ferguson had a lot of say in who United signed along. Can't remember who it was alongside anyway, but him. I can't remember his name, but them two had a very, very strong relationship in terms of building the team. I think that's what Klopp wants as well. Obviously, Klopp has had the team around him in terms of the transfer committee, but now it does seem that of course, Klopp's going to be taking a lot more and having a lot more say on what happens next with the squad and so on, of course. And of course, we've already spoken about last summer and what happened there with midfielders. And I think, and I've spoken to a lot of with you guys as well about how what does this mean now for Liverpool going ahead in January? Who knows? That's the other question. Will Liverpool? Is this the reason why? Julian Ward has decided to go. Has he been told that at the moment there's nothing that Liverpool can do in the window in terms of January and in the summer? We're hearing all this big plans of the news yesterday as well, coming out in Germany. A bit of a tongue. Sorry. The news coming out yesterday in Germany about Borussia Dortmund have apparently been notified that Liverpool and Real Madrid are the two main clubs going after Jude Bellingham. Now, we've spoken about Jude Bellingham plenty of times, but again, is there something we all know Klopp wants Jude Bellingham. That's the easy way of going around it. But has something been said behind closed doors? Has something been mentioned? And so on. So that's the thing I am worried about, if I'm being perfectly honest. And especially January as well, because I think January is a huge window for Liverpool going ahead as well. So again, things are changing. And again, it is scary times. And look, I'm nervous, I'm afraid, of what will happen next as well. But also as well, there is another piece of breaking news as well from David Ornstein as well, saying Liverpool's director of research, Ian Graham, as well, has resigned from his position and will leave the club at the end of the season. Give notice earlier in the year, plus Liverpool process to find replacement is underway. Graham is a key figure who was close to both Edwards and Ward as well. Again, the transfer committee seems to be falling apart at the present moment in time. And of course, again, like we've mentioned as well, Ian Graham apparently has been, one of those people, like I said there by David Ornstein, has been one of those people that has been very close to the situations around Liverpool in terms of the transfer committee. And again, the team just working together to produce the best, for Liverpool and so on as well. So again, you'd think that there would be, again, replacements in line for it, but once again, behind the scenes, when you actually put things at a, if you were to map things out realistically, no sporting director, the transfer committee is falling apart. We look at it at the minute, the club still hasn't got a club doctor in place, and you look at it on the field as well. Liverpool are a mess at the moment, and you look at these factors, and you think of a buyer coming in, and you're like, well, why are Liverpool worth 4.5 billion when you look at it like that? But of course, we all know the value of Liverpool Football Club. Of course, we all know the value of it. It's priceless, isn't it, guys, as well? But it's a very, very interesting situation. I want to know your guys' thoughts as well. I am double checking if there is any other breaking news as well, because there seems to be coming out, like obviously 2 hours ago was the main time that of course this was going to be it. But again, supposedly, let me double check this as well. Let me double check this. So there's a report coming out right now that Liverpool are available for 2.75 billion. That's very. Actually, is that breaking news? Let me double check this, guys. Well, yeah. So by the looks of things, at the minute, reports coming out that Liverpool could be available for 2.75 billion, which would be, again, cheap. It's even, I'm saying two and nearly 3 billion is cheap. That's ridiculous. Me saying that, but again, you look at it on the face of it. Chelsea went for 4.5. So again, it's ridiculous, isn't it? Brian saying pounds. Yes, 2.75 billion pounds. That's how much is being quoted for at the minute. Let me double check this as well, because it is just coming out right now. Yeah, pounds. So in dollars, that would be what, is it $3.1 billion? So if you're looking at it like that, then FSG would be pretty happy with it. I think FSG would be happy with anything, would they, at the minute, as well anyway. But there's going to be nobody from the FSG era left at Liverpool. Klopp says, Brian, one thing the takeover will happen before the World Cup ends. I don't think it's going to be done as quick as that, Gary. I think FSG would love that. Don't get me wrong, but honestly, I think summer, I think, would be the earliest time that you'll get to see a new owner in the door, because the fact the Premier League has to sanction everything and so on, and it's ridiculous the way it goes on, and so on. Look at the Newcastle. I know the Newcastle situation was different in many ways, but you look at it, they're gonna, again, it looks to be, it would take some time. Sorry, excuse me. It would take some time before the deal's actually done. Then I'd say anyway, but it seems clear that all packing up and ready to go home won't be long now as well, says Brian. No, it won't be long, but I think the summer will definitely be the way forward as well. New owners may want their own guys in, mate. Exactly. That's the thing, and it's the same. And I think this is exactly the same as the Chelsea situation. You look at when Bowley come in, just completely changed everything, and he's changed everything upstairs at Chelsea, and so on. So again, people might want their new, their way of things, and so on. But again, you look at it, there's been no concrete evidence yet of people being in the door at Liverpool. And again, we haven't really mentioned this as well. The fact that Manchester United have conveniently put themselves up for sale as well, at the same time Liverpool have as well. I think, look, Liverpool's option of putting the club up for sale, and FSG's way of putting it up, I think was strategically that it was done through a time period. Then I'd say with Manchester United, you already know they saw the news about Liverpool, and within about a week they went, okay, we want to sell. That's it. No thinking about it. And I think yesterday one of the Glazers was interviewed, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we want to sell now. We've come together, blah 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 blah, and we want to sell." Like, it's ridiculous. I think they've just seen the amount that Liverpool have been, suggested in terms of it, and United are just, and the Glazers are just trying to get a payday from anyone. Then realistically, as well. Let me quickly ban that bot in. I don't know why that's there. There we go. But it's the thing, yeah, it's gone. I had to double check that I did that correctly then. Some of them are jumping before they pushed Connor as well. Yeah, potentially Gary as well. It's all about it as well. And again, it's depending as well what Klopp has got to say about the whole situation as well. Because I think that it's at the minute, you look at Klopp, where the security around the squad, and the team itself as well. Of course, the rebuilds, it needs happening, now, not in the summer. So, of course, I think Julian Ward will of course help that. Before um, before he does leave, but again, it's depending on what happens next for Liverpool. Um, as well, but maybe Klopp having more control has diminished Ward's role as well. Yeah, potentially, bro. Yeah, we could definitely see that 100%. So what is going on then? It's like an Agatha Christie mystery, lol, says Panav as well. Let me quickly go back through what we know so far. Anyway, and it is like an Agatha Christie, an Agatha Christie thing at the present moment in time. I did like that then from Panav, to be fair. Anyway, but yeah, as you can see, but they Paul Joyce coming out earlier on and saying that, of course, that um, of course, bloody hell. That sporting director Julian Ward is set to leave at the end of the season. Of course, will be with us until May time as well. So again, but it has been his decision. He's not been forced out of the club. He has left, as you can see by Liverpool have made significant efforts to persuade Ward to stay, but the changes in organization structure at Anfield. I'm just going to say that, guys. Sorry, I can't speak today. Structure at Anfield, as well as the looming spectre of the possible takeover of the club, have played a big role in his decision. And then, of course, Goal understands, of course, this is Neil Jones coming out as well, saying that Goal understands that there has been a belief within the club that FSG's ownership model, which depends largely on generating revenue through player trading, is reaching the end of its shelf life after a period of remarkable success as well. And, of course, the other news as well, Jurgen Klopp has been given more hands-on approach over the last 12 months of recruitment as well, which again is a huge thing as well. Realistically, I do believe as well that Klopp has had a lot to do with contracts. This is why I believe Curtis Jones got a deal over last week as well. So again, there's definitely change coming. And well, I say change is coming. Of course, it's happening right now. But again, it does depend on now what happens next with Liverpool and so on. But the statement was basically identical as well from Brian. Identical? What do you mean? Oh, with the Ward thing. Yeah, absolutely. Big up Mark, mate, as well. How you doing, John, as well? All good, Mark. Thanks, mate. Got to show 7. Got a show at 7 as well. Nelson, how come you haven't been doing any World Cup watch-alongs, mate, as well? I don't know really. I didn't think people would be interested. Again, today's show was meant to be, it was meant to be at 9 o'clock tonight. It was meant to be a World Cup show that we were going to talk about, all of the, all of the games so far. Because I think after tonight, all the first games have been played in the groups. I think, as well. Of course, Darwin, got a 0-0 draw against South Korea, didn't he? Of course, Ali will be playing later on as well, or Fabinho as well. I forgot about Fabinho when I put that post up on Twitter as well. But again, I just think that look, I will do videos on the World Cup. If any of you guys would any of you guys like to see watch-alongs of the World Cup? Let me know as well. But realistically, I've just been watching them, downstairs and just been watching them, pretty much, you know, I think I've watched pretty much all of the games. I would say I'm not even sure. In particular. But again, I don't know if you guys would want to see it. Maybe we might do one for a big game. Maybe we might do it for maybe Wales and England. Maybe potentially, who knows? 0 shots on target in the entire game as well from Brian. Yeah, very poor. Yeah, it wasn't the best, was it? Suarez looked awful, didn't he? Don't get how Darwin wasn't playing through the middle more in the game. Yeah, Connor would 100% be in the comments if you did a watch along as well. Again, if anyone would like to see it, then yeah, let me know. As John has said, but anyway. But I am quickly checking up more on this story, guys. But Liverpool potentially being available for nearly 3 billion. Let me quickly have a look. Is there anything to this? No, there's not at the minute. Anyway, but it looks, yeah. To be fair, I'm just double checking now. Supposedly, United stock has just rocketed up. Supposedly, so again, look, I think United pretty much at the perfect time to put their club up for sale as well. But Uruguay, I was a bit disappointing. To be fair, I was expecting more as well. I think, to be fair, it is the fact that I do think a lot of teams are struggling at the World Cup. Don't know why. I think look at Argentina, for example. Argentina were terrible against Saudi Arabia. Don't get me wrong. I do think they should have been. They should have been doing. Well, they should have got that goal, the second goal. I think they buggered up with the offside. But again, fair play to Saudi Arabia, and as well, you look at other results in the World Cup. Of course, Japan. Yesterday, I watched that game against Germany. That was a very, very good game, entertaining game, and I think that's the thing. The World Cup so far, the majority of it has been entertaining. In terms of a footballing sense. Of course, we all know the disappointments off the field. And I don't have to go through them. I think that they've all been pretty much explained and showed. Especially when it comes to the armband situation, that I found hilarious. The fact that the first little thing that they turned around and argued about, the national side just practically backed off FIFA, which again was laughable. But again, I don't want to get into that too much. Anyway, but again, it's on the field. It's been a pretty good World Cup so far, I would say, anyway. But not just Julian Ward, though, as well, says Mark. Maybe do reaction shows. Kind of loads of people doing watch-alongs. Yeah, loads of people are doing watch-alongs. Obviously, like I said, Jack's probably live right now, probably doing who's playing now? Portugal and Ghana, is it now? So again, anyone wants to go over it and watch, better streamer than me, Jack, then go over to Anfield Road TV as well. But Ian Graham, Director of Research, will be leaving at the end of the season. Yes, we did mention this as well. Mark, we did mention it. It was in the notes here from David Ornstein as well. Thank you for mentioning it as well. Otherwise, I wouldn't have brought it back up. But yeah. David Ornstein mentioning that, of course, Liverpool Director of Research Ian Graham has resigned from his position and will leave the club at the end of the season. He gave notice earlier in the year which of course, it does seem when I looked at it earlier on, I read more into it. It does look like it was maybe around June time that he said that he was thinking about leaving the club, but now it is official, and so on. But again, the process has already begun to find his replacement. But again, he was a key figure who was close to both Edwards and Ward as well, which again is I not a worrying, well, yeah, what worrying time at Liverpool at the moment. But again, it's that fact that at the present moment in time, we don't know what's happening behind the scenes. At the present moment in time, everyone's focusing on the World Cup, and obviously this news coming out today is a massive shock. The fact that Julian Ward's going, and like I said, there's plenty of people else going out the door as well. Like, for example, Ian Graham, for example, he's going as well. So there's plenty of things happening behind the scenes that we don't know about at the minute. And like we said, at the present moment in time, we've got no sporting director at the moment. The way it's going, we've got no club doctor, we've got no head of research, we've got, things are slowly going down at Liverpool, and it is scary and it is a worrying time. To be a Red. And yeah, as Mark has said in the comments, well, no doctor, no club doctor at the present moment in time. As well, that position is still needed to be filled in as well. So again, it is worrying times at the moment. Obviously for me, obviously Julian Ward going isn't the best. Of course, you hope that maybe Liverpool might try and go back after Michael Edwards potentially. Maybe he might come back in, but then I don't think that will happen, and so on as well. But again, as soon as we know anything, guys, I will let you all know. Again, I've been able to come on live as soon as I can. It was going to be 4 o'clock, but again, I said it'd go 3:30 as well. But again, massive thank you to each and every single one of you guys as well. We'll run through back through things anyway. Like we mentioned, of course, Julian Ward is set to leave Liverpool at the end of the season. He will leave Liverpool after quitting from the sporting director role at the end of May as well. Liverpool did try everything, according to Neil Jones as well, to try and keep him in the role as well. But of course, Julian Ward's mind was made up as well. Obviously, Goal also understands that the belief within Liverpool itself is that the ownership model, which depends largely on obviously revenue from player trading, is reaching the end of its shelf life as well. Obviously, we mentioned as well, Jurgen Klopp has taken more responsibility of recruitment behind the scenes over the last 12 months as well. And of course, the other news as well, and the fact that Liverpool head of research, or the director of research, Ian Graham, has also resigned from the position and will leave the club at the end of the season as well. Of course, close to both Michael Edwards and Julian Ward as well. But guys, that is going to be it from me tonight. Anyway, we'll be back tomorrow with a World Cup video. And we will be back tomorrow because I had the thumbnail ready, I had everything sorted. So once this is fully uploaded and fully done, then I will get that uploaded and you guys can see anyway. But we are going to talk about the Reds at the World Cup. We are going to be talking about the World Cup as a whole as well, because of course I think the second games tomorrow of Group A are being played as well. So again, more we'll know more of who looks likely to qualify. Hopefully Wales can beat Iran as well. So again, it's going to be very, very interesting as well. But Mark says, no, Dr. Either. Main comments in the back room are leaving as well. Yep, absolutely, Mark. Say thanks, Colin. Enjoy the games tonight as well. I'll be definitely watching Brazil tonight anyway. Hoping Ali can get a clean sheet as well, and Fabinho can actually have a good game as well anyway. But guys, hopefully you have a fantastic rest of your Thursday anyway. If there is any more breaking news or anything else comes out anyway, then we'll be live straight away with all of the news to you guys anyway. But hopefully you have enjoyed the episode anyway. If you have, then please feel free to leave a like, share and subscribe. It's very much appreciated as always. And yeah, hopefully we'll be live with a couple of more videos. And if you guys would like watch alongs, then let me know in the chat down below anyway. But I've been Connor from the Cup Council. I'll see you all tomorrow. Ta-ra.